name is Leah and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I kind of don't know how to start this because I have started and stopped YouTube like 3 times now, I want to say. And this will be a completely new channel. I will have completely started over. I started out as makeup, I stopped, I started out as makeup again, I stopped. I think this might be actually just my 3rd time restarting YouTube. And I am now restarting more as like a follow me around, here's my life, let's enjoy it together kind of a channel. I don't know if that makes any sense. Basically, I have been debating restarting my YouTube forever, but I'm not as into makeup as I was, and I'm kind of past my whole let's be a guru phase. Also, yes, I am driving, because I live in a basement right now, and there's no window, and it would be very dark and depressing, and I have cats, and they'd be all up in my business, and this is just the easiest way for me to do it. I can set up my phone on my little tripod thing, or phone mount, excuse me. I can set my phone up on my phone mount, and it's just the easiest way for me to get this done. And I've been like telling myself for weeks now, months even, that today's the day I'm gonna restart the YouTube channel, today's the day I'm gonna do it. And I never do. It never happens. And I think a lot of that has to do with lack of motivation, and also just because like I don't know why I'm doing this, completely honest. Like I just don't know why I'm doing this. Like it's something that I've wanted to do. It's something that like my friends who I used to make YouTube videos with, and like my friends that used to watch my old YouTube videos were like, you should do it again, simply because they enjoyed it. And I was like, you know what? I enjoyed it. So I have friends who enjoy it, and if we are the only people who ever watch these videos, that's fine by me. Honestly, the reason I'm doing this is because this last 2 years, honestly, has been probably the most difficult time of my entire life. 2020, I know, was hard for so many people, but it was so hard for me because it was not only the best year of my life, but it was the worst year of my life, and it was hard for me to deal with that altogether. And the reason I say that is because in 2019 my father was diagnosed with cancer. He had a super rare terminal cancer that did end up taking his life on September 25th of 2020. And so he lived for a little over a year from being diagnosed, and it was obviously devastating. I am only 22 now, recently 22. I was 21 when he died. And I just, it's one of those things where you never think it's going to happen to you. You hear of the people getting cancer, and it's out of nowhere, and it's out of the blue, and they never expected it, and then all of a sudden their loved one is dead, and you always just think, oh, that's so sad. But you never really think that, oh, well, I hope that doesn't happen to me, because it's always, oh, it couldn't happen to me, because that's just something that happens to other people. And I know that's like so cliche to say, but that's 100% what happened to me and my family. Like, my dad was perfectly fine. Like, he ran all the time, he played in his band, he worked, he just lived his life, never did anything, never like did like, and it was chest cancer, so it wasn't like he smoked and he got lung cancer. It was, they don't know how he got it. He just had a bunch of tumors in his chest, and they don't know what causes it, where it came from. And by the time they found out, it was like stage 4. They randomly found out about it one day when he just was driving up to our place that we used to have in North Carolina. He passed out from like nothing. And they did a bunch of scans, and of course, my mom and I rushed up there to go get him. He was so embarrassed. He's like, this is so stupid. Why are we doing this? I'm fine. And he had cancer. And he was doing great for a while. He really fought, and he wanted to do his best, but he always said that when it got to the point where it got too hard and he was no longer himself, he didn't want to fight anymore, and like, he was ready to go, and God was ready to call him home, and that's just how he felt about it, and that's what he believed. And I mean, but what makes it really hard is that obviously losing a parent that you love is devastating, like no matter what. But I got engaged last summer, and he was alive for that, and we were planning the wedding, and I was obviously so excited, but once we got closer and closer to the wedding, we decided to have the wedding within like a 6-month period from the engagement. And mainly because the virus was shutting down venues left and right. So I was like, I'm not waiting a full year to do this. Let's just do it as soon as possible. And also because I wanted my father there. But the closer we got to the actual day of the wedding, the more I realized he wasn't going to be there. Towards the end of his life, he was on oxygen. He could barely move. He had to have a walker. He was 59. And from going from the strongest man I've ever known to like hunched over in a walker and using oxygen and couldn't eat and couldn't sleep was so hard. And I was visiting my fiance at the time was in Texas. He was stationed in Texas at the time, and I flew out to see him to do some wedding planning. And before I left, my mom was like, if your dad dies while you're gone, what do you want to do? And we made a whole plan, and I was just like, I'm not going to rush home. I don't want to be in the air while he's dying or anything. Like, we'll figure it out. And he did die when I was gone on that trip. And I kind of knew it was going to happen. Like, deep down, I kind of knew this was it, that was going to be the last time I saw him. But it obviously didn't prepare me. He missed my wedding by 85 days. And it didn't ruin my wedding. It didn't ruin my life. It just, in the moment, it felt like the end of the world. And there are still times where it does feel like the end of the world, but it wasn't, and it isn't. And it cast this whole shadow over my wedding, though. Like, just him not walking me down the aisle, us not having our first dance. He never even saw my wedding dress because I wanted to do like a little first look with my dad, but he never got to see it. And so it really like hurt me that he didn't get to be a part of it. But we had a family there, and it was beautiful, and I loved it, and I wouldn't really change it because he was miserable, and if he had held on for the wedding, he would have been miserable. And so that's just why it makes it so hard. This last year has been so hard because my family and I, we are now in the year of firsts. The year of the first Christmas without him was hard. My first birthday without him was hard. His birthday was yesterday. He would have been 60. And that was hard. And my brother's first birthday without him, my mom's first birthday, we've already gone through all of our birthdays without him. And my mom had to go through her birthday, Valentine's Day, and what would have been their anniversary all in the same month. And so it's just, there are just moments where it just kind of feels like he's just not in the house at the time. And then there are other moments where it just feels like you're never going to be happy again. And so I just feel like I've been living through this just monumental event in my life. And I have these people who are going through the exact same thing as me, but they're grieving a different person. My mom's grieving the loss of her husband. My brother is grieving the loss of his father as well, but it's hard to lean on people who have lost the same person that you lost. And it's hard to like listen to other people who are so like far ahead of you. Like I've been hanging out with my friend Aiden all the time. I'm actually on the way to her house right now. She lost her mom to cancer when she was about 8. And she has been the most incredible person ever to come across my path, and I absolutely love her. But it's sometimes it's hard because her mom has been gone for so long, and so I'm still in the beginning of it all. I'm still in like the throes of, like, I almost accidentally call him sometimes. I want to tell him things, and it just still feels so fresh that sometimes it's hard to feel like anybody knows what I'm going through, because I'm not the only person to lose their parent by any means, especially not under my circumstances. Like, I can't imagine how many people have lost their parents young that I don't even know, you know? It's not an uncommon thing. It's not a unique experience, but when it's you, it feels like you're completely alone, even though I have 2 other people in my house who also lost him. And so that's honestly really my drive for restarting this channel, or starting a new one, I should say, is I don't want anyone else to feel this way. I want other people who are going through this or who have gone through this just to have a friend, to know that, hey, me too, man. Like, I know how you feel. I know it sucks. I know it's horrible, and let's go through it together. And also partially that I am also a military spouse. My husband is currently away. We got married, and about a month later he left and for training and stuff like that, and he has been gone consistently. I hardly ever get to see him, and I miss him like absolutely crazy. So that's another reason for starting this channel, is that I know that there's military spouses, there's military couples, there's all of that kind of stuff, but I don't know many, because honestly it's hard to get to know other military spouses if you don't live on a base, which we don't. And so that's another thing, is that I just want to share the military spouse side of my life. We're probably moving soon, and then we'll probably be moving over and over again for a while. I just want to share that part of my life and just basically kind of live my life on the internet, which isn't something I thought I'd ever be seeking out or want to do. But there are just those things. There are just those aspects of my life. The whole, I'm tired of feeling alone. My husband's gone all the time, and like I love my friends who I hang out with while he's gone, but sometimes it just gets a little lonely, and I'm just thinking, like, why not put it out on the internet? Why not let other people like just live it with me? And that's really where I'm at in my life, honestly. I am 22, I am married, and I am so lonely. And I never thought this would be something that I would do, but I am really excited, and I just want to see where this all takes me, and I hope you guys are happy to come along on the ride with me. So yeah, I will see where this all takes me. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.